Mr. Javadekar, welcome on our audience show, The Pulse.
Yes.
Despite the effective enrollment which has been seen in the years and access to education has improved, but what according to you has been the major reason why the levels of learning have been poor?
There are many reasons, but while we did expansion, it has its own importance because after all, access to everybody in that age group of 6 to 14 is essential. And so we have now nearly reached universal access, and more than 98%, 99% students are in schools. But the problem is, with the right to education, we changed the whole system. Now from 1st to 8th, there is no examination. It was expected that there will be a continuous evaluation, but really that didn't happen. And therefore, without examination, there is no goal, there is no target, there is no competition. Some part of competition is essential, though you need not have joined the race for marks or grades, but it is important to be tested. That testing was, and therefore what we are finding last 10 years is, class 5th student can't read 3rd class text, 6th class students can't solve 4th class problem, maths. This has happened because accountability went out of the system.
Right.
Now with learning outcomes defined very well for each subject and of each standard, we have brought back that accountability. Now there is accountability of teachers.
Okay.
Every student must get that minimum competency in each subject in each year. And therefore that qualifying accountability is now there with students, with parents, with teachers, with schools.
But when you talk about accountability of teachers, now if you look at the annual status education report of the latest version which came out, which says that a large section of children, they are not able to read the basic arithmetic, they don't understand the concepts.
No, but that is what I said, because they are not tested. Now there will be what, therefore, as a second step than learning outcome, we decided to train the untrained teachers.
Okay.
During the expansion, we recruited some say more than 20 lakh teachers which were not qualified. They had just passed 12th and they were recruited. So they had not completed diploma in education, the pedagogy, so they couldn't teach effectively. And therefore, after the right to education, they were given time up to 15th, but that only 5 lakh teachers did the education. Now 15 lakh were still untrained. This time we have launched it a massive course, online course, offline course, and more than 14 lakh teachers have registered themselves and are studying, and we are assessing them every weekly basis. So teachers training is another component. Learning outcome is first component. And the third component is we are introducing again examination at 5th and 8th standard.
Okay.
Because then it will bring back the accountability to a full. And I am very sure that this budget session, the second part of the budget session, will have this bill, and we will definitely pass it. All parties will support it because we have left it to the states whether to have it or not. Today 25 states want this examination at 5th and 8th.
So when you say that the children will have to give exams at class 5 and at class 8 level, so it's almost going to be like a board exam for them.
It will be a good exam, and if they fail, in March examination they fail, they will be given another chance immediately in May.
Okay.
So the purpose is not to detain, but the purpose is to create accountability and learning processes. And therefore, in May if they fail, even in second attempt, then they will be allowed to be detained in the same class. Otherwise, he will progress after giving second examination.
Right.
So this is how we want to build accountability. Then only the learning outcomes will be achieved. Then you will not have the kind of surveys which we are getting for last 10 years. So these are the three things which we are starting. And I have already started a 10th board examination in CBSE, which was optional.
Right.
And it has been welcomed by all sections, students, teachers and parents. And this year, first time, all CBSE students are giving 10th board exam also. Because student must get prepared for kind of examinations. There should not be unnecessary tension. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has already conducted a wonderful class for the country, where for 2 hours he was talking to students of how there should be an examination as a celebration, examination as a festival, and examination without tension.
But Mr. Javadekar, when you talk about the basis for assessing the children in the classroom, we have seen that the curriculum is mostly based on theories, formulas. Now, how do you really make the curriculum so interesting for them?
You have raised a very valid issue, and therefore the new education policy is coming out with very basic sciences. What we are seeing is how human brain develops, how children acquire various skills, and in a cognitive age of 4 to 8, they must be given complete freedom to do their best, and they have multilingual abilities in those years, they have more cognitive abilities in those years, they have more motor skills on those years. So when their skills are getting developed and formed, we must allow them the activities of that kind, and that is why I have asked NCERT to halve the portion, because we talk of value education, we talk of physical education, we talk of life skill education, we talk of experiential learning, because that all these things actually make a human being a perfect human being, a good citizen, and that is the purpose of education. But because of the so wide a portion, students don't come out of those theories and formulas and books. So I want to completely change this, and we have decided to cut the portion, and now I am opening that for the teachers also who teach what is necessary, what must be taught, and what can be cut from the portion, so that you get time for all these kind of activities, which are the basic activities.
Right. We've also seen that the present system of education is completely alienated from our traditional system, where we saw the guru and the shishya together, and they were working actually towards increasing the wisdom of the pupil.
Actually, teacher's role is to find the basic strength and weakness of the student. He must be a mentor to them. And even in colleges now, when we have changed the promotion scheme, API scheme, I have introduced that every college lecturer also, assistant professor will also be doing this. He will be mentoring 15 students.
Mr. Javadekar, what is the reason, like the basis on which the children are assessed? Basically, we've seen that the curriculum is based on formulas, theories. Now, how do you really make the teaching system more interesting?
And I have seen that curriculum is too vast for the children, because we have put all things in the curriculum. We must reduce the curriculum. We need to train. What I see is school curriculum is much heavy than the college general education of BA, BCom. This is what is happening today. So what I am trying to do is now, I am asking teachers who are teaching what portion should be mandatory and what portion should not be there. What can we want to halve the portion. Then only we will get opportunity to introduce physical education, value education, life skill education, and experiential learning. So all these things can come only therefore. That will create a good human being out of the system, and students will be more interested.
So by when can we expect that the students will have reasons to smile because of the half syllabus?
Yes, because of the half syllabus, they can actually do from next year. Means we are starting
next academic
now.
Session.
But not next academic, 18-19 on, from 19-20. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And you were also talking about the education policy. How soon can we expect that?
I think they are all ready. I have discussed with them. So they are sure that they will submit their report by 31st March. Okay. So after that, it will have processed in cabinet and everywhere, and then we will unleash the policy.
Every year when this annual status education report comes out, all the TV studios, they go hammer and tongs about the quality of education. So am I to believe, after you have spoken to Rajya Sabha TV, that from next year onwards, apparently the learning outcomes will increase?
Absolutely, learning outcomes are mandatory. That is the new accountability system, the teachers training, the 10th board exam, and the exam at 5th and 8th. All these things will improve the quality of education at school level, and also we have taken many steps to improve the quality in higher education.
There are lots of children who've joined us on the program, and apparently you've just not been able to join us in the studio.
But
what do you really have to tell them?
I will tell them that study properly, but play properly. Be on the ground, do things differently, engage yourself in other extracurricular activities. They are important for life, and not only the academic portion and the marks. Life is much more than the marks, and therefore enjoy learning and enjoy this period when you learn more and more every day.
But the general refrain, Mr. Javadekar, when you say is, "Ab zyada khelo," so बच्चे से अगर खेलेंगे तो हमारे marks उससे कम आएंगे.
नहीं होता है. खेलेंगे तो आपके marks भी बढ़ेंगे, because overall personality and the energy increases. So that is the benefit.
So they need not worry about the marks now?
They need not worry about the marks. They must concentrate on learning more. Okay. So those learning abilities are important. That will be tested. That is what we promise.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank
Javadekar.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.